Hey, Professor Schroeder, Charlie here. We're just going to run through our presentation so that you have a glimpse, and that way you can kind of give us feedback and review it at your own time. We've just went and did a trial run. We're going to go through again with it recorded and send this to you. Okay, so essentially you should be able to see my screen. I'll go ahead and go to the presenter slide, although I know we may have to work out some of the notes and getting in here, but essentially this is our strategy review. Our first slide has their logo. We're going to introduce our team members, and then it's kind of some of that like logistical information. The second slide is just essentially showing, obviously Tom knows what his site looks like, but just to kind of give a glimpse and frame where they're at the moment and what their site looks like and how it kind of feels. So just a quick review of that. And then we're going to actually go into our two recommendations. And like we mentioned in some of our emails, we have a kind of like a two-prong approach, both that have more of the financial versus the non-financial recommendations. So our marketing strategy recommendations, the first of which is to increase their influence in their promotions. So one of our 4 Ps. And essentially, we believe that using Facebook is one great way for them to advertise and drive traffic to the site, which we've identified as the main goal of the organization at the moment. The second prong of the marketing strategy recommendation is to make a more engaging website that's going to attract and drive more talent, as well as keep talent or keep traffic engaged to the site, which is going to bring more customers. And then that'll help. They kind of work hand in hand. It's kind of why we chose them, the product changes and the promotional changes, because we want to get people on the site and then allow them an opportunity to kind of share out and become that more of a way that they can engage with the site. Oh, did I click back? I might click back. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. So the recommendations, Zoe's going to take the promotion strategies. Go.
Okay, so I'm going to run through this as if we're actually presenting. So I'll kind of read each point. Okay, so the first strategy we identified was a promotion strategy to use Facebook to advertise, promote the website, and to drive traffic to the site. There's many ways to use Facebook. There really is a whole science to it, but we just do have a few basic ideas. So the first thing is that ATV, we believe, needs to be doing consistent posting. Consistent posting communicates to viewers that the company is alive and functioning. It communicates that the company believes it has information worth sharing that it's excited about. If a Facebook user visits a profile and that profile doesn't have any new posts for 6 months, they might have the impression that the company is defunct, or maybe that it's someone's side project and not a fully functioning organization with a valuable product. So the gold standard is to post consistently. Second, ATV, we believe, can and should post a variety of content. On the current Facebook profile that ATV has, it's a bit outdated, but it does have a variety of content, some short travel videos, some interviews, which are kind of interesting, pictures. This is good. One of our group members also had the idea of ATV streaming live TV events. And this would position ATV to really live up to the TV name. We recommend you post a variety of things and see what gets the most traction, and then lean into that type of content. The third is that ATV should invite Facebook users to follow their page. And if users follow the ATV page, then they will see when ATV posts new content. ATV can be really proactive, actually doing outreach, and actually request users to follow the page. And the second part of that is engaging with these followers. So responding when they comment, engaging with them in that way. And the outreach is kind of the next point, number 4. ATV can reach out beyond its page and join groups that are appropriate and related. ATV can engage with other content on Facebook, comment and like, etc. And this actually gets ATV's name out there. So Facebook users are seeing it. They are seeing the types of things that ATV follows and likes. And ATV should do this outreach on all kinds of active lifestyle pages, brands that make active wear or equipment, on the pages of athletes, influencers who have a large following. with the goal of capturing the audiences that are on those pages and having those users click on ATV's profile and ATV's website. Which brings us to the last point. Finally, all of this posting that ATV does on its Facebook page should be with the goal of linking to the website. So it's not just having the website link in the About Me box. It's making content that says, look at this great stuff we do, click the link to visit our site and see more great content. So the goal is not to have a great Facebook profile for the sake of having a great Facebook profile. The goal is to have a Facebook profile that advertises the product and drives traffic to the site. Next slide. So we made a lot of suggestions for using Facebook, and Tom probably would be a bit overwhelmed or thinking like, how are we going to get all of this done? So this brings us to the second part of this promotion strategy, which is the investment piece. Investment means both, financial investment and a time and commitment investment. So it's pretty clear, we believe, that ATV needs somebody on the team doing social media. So an obvious option is to hire somebody to manage the social media aspect of ATV's marketing strategy. Another option, however, is to train somebody on the current team to fulfill the role of social media manager. Training someone on the current team so that they have the skills to fulfill this new role could be a really great option and probably a more affordable option. So this is actually our preferred option. Also, Tom has said that he trusts his small team. They are already skilled. So if you're going to invest in social media, we would suggest paying for someone on your team to get trained. Training is really important because the management of social media is pretty complicated, and ATV needs somebody with the right skills to be able to use their social media accounts effectively. The second investment option related to Facebook is pretty simple. It's to pay for advertising on Facebook. So similar to the experience with the Google ads, the Facebook ads come in many shapes and sizes. There's a wide price range. So if the ATV social media manager can improve the content on the page, then you can put a little money behind promoting the content. We think this has the potential to drive traffic to the ATV page and then to the site, which is the ultimate goal. Okay, next slide.
Okay. Thank you, Zoe. And essentially the second prong of our marketing recommendations has to deal with the fact that we feel that there is a great product. We feel like there is a great audience, and that marketing aspect can be improved with the promotion, but we also feel that the product itself can be a little bit more encouraging when it comes to creating people coming to the site, as well as people kind of maneuvering the site and kind of engaging with the site a little bit more. So that's what we said. Our second strategy is a product change, especially with some of the site changes. These are not like huge changes. These are more recommendations on how we see we can develop a site that is a little bit more user-friendly and engaging. And so that's what it says there: engage users and improve the viewing experience. So one thing that we see on a lot of travel sites that help bring people to the site, give them a voice, kind of give them an aspect of agency, is the comment feature. So you could have the comment sites, and this would take definitely some back-end development, but it's going to add a value to your site. A commenting feature, we also believe that if you have a way for the community to engage with upvoting, which is where people kind of submit their votes with regards to videos that they watched or activities that they've done that they appreciated, and that goes hand in hand with keeping people on the site, allowing them to kind of engage with the site a little bit more with video backgrounds as well as animation, so kind of making the site more user-friendly. One thing we talked about too is the kind of like a discover more tab, which certainly does take you away from the site at the moment. But we could also incorporate like a recommendation board where people who've taken trips on certain or taken trips with certain companies could recommend, hey, I've done this trip. It was really great option. And that also goes hand in hand with the comment feature. And then the one we really think is super powerful is to create a share button or link. So this is where a lot of people who are using the site, we feel if they say, hey, I've been checking out this site and there's some development that says, hey, I've been checking out this site, I want to think about this trip or this video, and this share button direct on the site could send like an auto email to whoever they plug in there, to say, hey, I'm sending this to my wife. This is a wine country trip we want to take to Napa, and then automatically share it. And that is going to then link people back to the site and giving them that extra opportunity to engage with the site, which we think is super powerful. Again, syncing to Facebook. So making sure that the Facebook site that kind of links us to the site is really robust. And then also the last part is to revamp the newsletter. The newsletter was obviously done with a reason. It's to engage users. It's to build that target audience of people that want the content. So we feel that revamping that, and that goes hand in hand with a promotional strategy, but then you could also have a space on the site that has that newsletter archive so that people can engage again with what has been documented in the past. Oh, and then this site, so what we want to talk here about why ATV is special and what kind of specialities they touch on. And then the notes aren't coming up here. Their competitive advantages. Oh, I'm blanking on this slide. Great. Good thing this is a practice round. So
Do you want me to read it?
Can you help me out? Yeah.
Okay, I have the notes, so I'll read it. Okay, so since we've presented some strategies, we want to take the time to explain how we arrived at those strategies, right? So we believe that ATV is unique because it curates travel content and it links to booking agencies, which makes the planning portion easier for the user. No competitor does that. So we believe this is the competitive advantage of ATV. This is what makes ATV different from YouTube. So we believe the strategies that we've suggested, seek to showcase this competitive advantage and differentiate ATV from the other companies or products that are competing for the attention of ATV's customers and potential customers. Go next.
Okay, yeah, and then Zoe's going to take it away for these. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so we want to talk about ATV's customers and potential customers. So it's true that ATV's audience could be anyone that enjoys travel or an active lifestyle. That could span, many generations, demographics, etc. But different generations are going to use different social media platforms. So if you're doing outreach on a social media platform, it's really important to be aware of these differences. So for a few reasons, we believe that ATV's customers and potential customers are specifically Facebook users. So for one, the generation with the financial resources to travel is overwhelmingly the baby boomer generation. I mean, this is of course a broad statement about financial means, but millennials on down in general do not have the same financial resources as the baby boomer generation. Second to that, baby boomers are also more likely to be retirees or to not have children in their household. So this is all to say that baby boomers and to some extent Gen X are really the potential customer base for ATV's product, because this is the more likely customer base for traveling in general. And the data shows that baby boomers and Gen Xers actually use Facebook overwhelmingly as their social media of choice. So the potential ATV customer uses Facebook. And so we believe you should focus ATV's limited resources on building a presence on Facebook. Second, about the customers and potential customers is that they are eager to travel because of the pent-up travel demand as a result of the pandemic. So this makes the timing right for ATV to pursue an aggressive promotion strategy. The pent-up travel demand, it's a great opportunity for ATV to increase traffic to the website. And finally, ATV's potential customers are looking for guidance. Potential customers are looking for help planning their travel. And this is evidenced by the folks who use your website contact form to ask for suggestions and to ask for guidance in travel planning. So we know that potential customers are looking for a resource to make travel planning easier because the market's oversaturated. There's almost too many choices. And ATV's customers are looking for a resource to guide them in that decision-making process. Next slide. Okay, this is me too. All right, so again, another reason for our product strategy is because we believe this strategy addresses competitor weaknesses. So YouTube, which we would argue is the main kind of entity competing for the attention of your potential customers, is already a library of travel videos. But what makes ATV different from YouTube is that ATV actually curates content while YouTube does not. So anyone can post anything on YouTube, but ATV actually selects which videos it wants to promote to its users. So that's what makes ATV a different experience than browsing YouTube. YouTube also does not facilitate travel planning in any way for its users, whereas ATV does by including booking links, etc. And we talked about how ATV's potential customers are looking for guidance in planning their travel. So this is a great opportunity for ATV to really lean into that strength to differentiate itself from YouTube by being a resource for its customers. Finally, YouTube does not engage directly with its users. I mean, of course, individual creators on YouTube can engage with the viewers of YouTube videos, but YouTube as a brand does not engage directly with viewers. So this is an opportunity for ATV to cultivate more engaging relationships with users of the site, to get them to stay on the site longer, and to get them to come back for more or to share with their friends, right? To become a promoter of the site rather than going to YouTube. So that's how ATV can kind of build website traffic, by being a really useful website for its users. So these 3 points are really the competitors' weaknesses. And then these 3 points are our opportunities for ATV. So we believe that the product strategy we outlined will position ATV to respond to these opportunities. Next slide. Is that you?
That's you. But Active Travel Videos is the place to explore all of the adventure travel opportunities. So are you ready to explore the world? The start of turning your adventure travel dreams into reality is just a click away. So when we revert and we think, what is the essence? What are these identity statements? What is the mission of this organization, of ATV? It is to be that place for people to facilitate their world explorations. And this is what you all stand for. So we feel that with these 2 recommendations, by revamping the promotional aspect and by digging deeper into your product, you're going to offer that really great value proposition to your potential customers and drive the goal of getting people to your site. And that's what we feel. And now we're going to open it up for questions and dialogue, and hope you don't fire us, although we're not getting paid, so it's all good. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, Professor, and